And now I'm going to do this thing. Whoosh.
Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Fortnightly Frontier, the fortnightly podcast where we talk about the best damn space sim ever, Star Citizen! I'm Loose Unit, and with me tonight is my fantastic co-host, Dianator.
I don't know what that gesture was, but hello! Can you believe it? 20th episode.
Yeah.
We started this thing almost 11 months ago. It was just at the beginning of the year. And if everything goes well with scheduling, we'll end this year with episode 25. That's quite a lot. For what it's worth, I honestly thought that at least one of us, would have lost interest in this a long time ago. But it looks like we'll be getting to, easily to triple figures.
Yes, well, I thought I would have lost interest in it, but it's actually nice to have a little bit of a hobby on the side. And it is just fantastic to reach episode 20, and we've got over 100 subscribers, which is like...
We've almost reached 120 by now.
Wow, that's awesome. And I'd just like to say a very, very big thank you to Dianator, because he has been the editing master behind all of these episodes, and we would never, ever be able to reach the quality that we could without him, because he just does an amazing job of putting these episodes together. It's fantastic. So thank you very, very much, Mr. Dianator. You're fantastic, and you've got us to where we are today.
You do know that flattery will get you everywhere.
Haha, that's what I hoped. What? No, that's disgusting. What? What a great episode.
Yes, and it wouldn't be the same drink without the alcohol.
Yeah. Well, we did decide to have a bit of an extra drinky one because it's 20. 20 is a pretty significant
It's a milestone,
number.
Yes.
It's a milestone.
It's a pretty
10 was a
milestone.
milestone, but we didn't do anything special for that.
And here's what's coming up in the episode. First, we have the Hyper News, where we give you a rundown on the latest news from the verse. Then, moving on to major points, where we'll be discussing the upcoming first-person shooter module. And finally, we'll be ending it with an interview with a special guest Montoya from the Test Squadron, the best squared on. But first, the Hyper News.
Whoosh.
The $58 million stretch goal has been reached, and it brought us a surprise. The ship selection poll wasn't finished, so every backer was gifted 10,000 UEC. It's currently sitting in my account. It should have arrived in yours. If it hasn't, contact support, I guess.
Or probably has, yes. There isn't really much you can get with 10,000 UAC, but...
Bigger fish tank.
Yes.
Something. Yeah. And we should have, not confirmed yet when we're recording the show, but by the time that it comes out, we will have, most likely, probably, hit the $59 million stretch goal, and we will be getting the Anvil Aerospace Crucible. And it's supposedly a flying toolbox, which is a repair ship. So that's going to be quite interesting to see that when it finally gets to the concept stage and we have to spend a lot of money on it. Yeah.
So it's not really the most glamorous of ships, but an integral part of every organization's squadron when they're going on group missions, so to speak.
Exactly.
March 2015 is going to be a busy month according to Sandy's schedule spoilers. We'll be sure to keep you informed with that.
And we've just learned in the last week that the player base will only be 10% of the population in Star Citizen. 90% of the population will be made up of the AI characters we're talking about, or we have talked about in the past, sorry. That is something that will need a bit more discussion in the future, because I think that really starts to limit the possibilities of what you can and can't do. It's possibly a little bit different than what we've said. And that is confirmed from Chris Roberts himself in 10 for the Chairman, one of the episodes. So, yeah, interesting.
A new patch was announced to be released around PAX Australia. So that will be around the end of this week, and it is the 0.9.2 version, isn't it? Is it not?
Which is another number patch, something that they refer to.
Something,
on the
yes. I think that this one is bringing the third pass of the customization controls, among other things.
Yeah, customized control, some control stuff, and a proper lobby. No, is it the proper? No, not proper lobby system. Yeah.
Well, we'll wait. We'll have to wait until the end of the week. We'll get the full patch notes then, and well, you'll be able to enjoy the game at the same time as we are. So that is it for the Hyper News.
Whoosh.
The upcoming first-person shooter module, there was a big takeover from Redacted on the website, RSI stuff, and there was a Reddit Ask Me Anything and all that kind of stuff on Thursday or Friday? Friday, Thursday, I can't work it out with time zones, but anyway, they took over and answered a whole lot of questions, so we have some stuff to talk about.
And the first thing that I want to talk about is the thing that really caught my eye when it comes to first-person shooters, that is going to be a lot different than every other first-person shooter that anybody's ever played before, because in those, the way it works is that the player is a camera that walks around, and then everything is stacked onto that. The weapons, the head box for the enemies, etc., etc., etc. But here is going to be the other way around. It's going to be animation driven. So it's the character first, and where your eyes are is where the camera is. So whatever happens to you, for instance, you get shot in the leg and you start walking with a limp. However your character is animated, that's what you're going to see. So don't have to do the limping animation, as well as given instructions to how the camera is supposed to behave in that situation. So everything is going to be driven by the character, which is very interesting, but I think it's going to take a lot of finesse and finagling to get it so it's not very nauseating when you're looking through the eyes of your character, because everybody's used to maybe some degree of minimal view bob when you're walking, but not to actual interaction with the environment, so to speak.
Yeah, this first-person shooter is going to be like, it's meant to be immersive,
and it's going to be very different than anything we've ever seen.
Most likely, yeah. I mean, they said very, very. A question was asked: what games are you drawing mechanical inspiration from? And the answer by the dev team was a mixture of Counter-Strike, Rainbow Six, Arma, Delta Force, and Killzone. So, a couple of those I haven't played, but I really love Arma. I'm a big fan of Rainbow Six. Counter-Strike I played a bit of, but I'm not really a fan of. I can really see that, like, taking that Arma side of it. I really love Arma. It's to include Arma in that list is a really good thing. I'm going to take this Arma thing way too far, aren't I? What do you think?
I think that, well, since you mentioned Killzone, I've never played Killzone, but from what I've seen from the gameplay trailers, it's very natural looking.
Okay.
It's not just, moving in a straight line, rotating. It's the movement, even though you're looking at it from the first person perspective, is very natural.
Okay, I'll have to actually check it, because that's one of the two games that I haven't played on there. Delta Force.
They're console exclusives. I think Killzone is a PlayStation exclusive. It's always been, and but if we're getting that, it's going to be interesting. I don't have to buy a PlayStation to play Killzone because it's always interested me.
Yeah, we'll just play the first-person shooter module.
Exactly.
But one of the cool things is that it sounds to me like they're actually building a full first-person shooter game. And they're building this game inside of Star Citizen World, so it's possible that we will get people there just wanting to play that first-person shooter side of it. And that is really, really exciting for the whole persistent universe, because if we can create games inside of games, like we have the dogfighting stuff that's going on, we'll have the transport shipping stuff that's going to go on, we'll have the first-person shooter stuff that's going to be going on. If we can, these are all like normally separate, complete games. And if we could have them all in one universe, that's going to be amazing. And you started to see that with Eve when they built that. It was a PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 exclusive where they had the on-world stuff and you could have the ships coming over and they would bomb, and it was all kind of interconnected. That's cool, and I would really love to see more of that.
That is something I really wanted to experience. Like, go to a planet where there's a huge ground battle going on and just bombard a scene from space. That's just wreck everybody's world. That would be that would be very satisfying to experience.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, if it happens to you, maybe not. Anyway, we will include the link to the entire AMA in the description, in the doobly-doo, whatever you want to call it, below the video. So be sure to check that out, along with all the other links that I will be posting.
And that's it for Major Points. Coming up is an interview with Montoya from Test Squadron. And now we have Montoya from Test Squadron here to answer some questions.
Hey guys, great to be here. I love your show. By the way, before we start, I just say a couple of things. The production quality of your show is the top show of. Oh, I'm sorry if anyone else makes shows for Star Citizen, but these guys rock. These guys are the best. I'm really, and I say that with all honesty. Like, you guys are amazing. I'm really happy to be here. And I know it's tradition to drink some sort of alcohol, but I'm just getting my afternoon caffeine in.
Yes, time zone and all that. But thank you very much for the compliment.
Well, thank you, yes. Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers. You'll have to excuse me if I look this direction because my computer's over here and then I got the camera set up over here. Because the lighting from this side just makes me look a lot more
It makes your skin look
handsome.
soft like.
And I really need that, yeah.
Right.
There you go. Let's start this thing. So first off, who the hell are you?
Who am I? Well, I've done this question
who
before
are
somewhere,
you?
haven't I? Who am I? Who are you? Who is anybody? I am Montoya. I am the founder of Test Squadron. I am a Star Citizen veteran backer. Not the original, because actually, I was so close to becoming an original backer, but I wasn't really sold on the whole idea of giving money to a game that hadn't come out yet. Who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
Who are we?
Who are we? What? This is
We
supposed to be
are-
an interview where we ask you
Oh, everyone's
questions.
interviewing me. Okay, well,
I'm actually a veteran backer, and the same as you, because I had planned on. Well, a friend sent me the Kickstarter originally, and I looked at it and went, Kickstarter, I don't care about that. I don't want to give them my money. Screw them. I'll wait till the game's out. Well, so much for that. Yeah.
I wasn't sold when I first heard about this game coming out on Kickstarter. I was like, oh, okay, space them, they'll be nice. But the idea of giving $35 or $40, how much was the package in the beginning? $40 for a game that wasn't even out yet was just ludicrous. I kind of think a lot about spending $40 on an existing game. I usually wait for the Steam sales. But $40 in a game that is not even coming out for 2 years at the time was just inconceivable to me.
So what changed your mind?
They had the veteran backer had a deadline. If you had to get into the game back by a certain point, and then the veteran backer awards fall away. And so I was like, you know what, I might as well just toss some money in. And I really wanted just a small ship, the Aurora. But then there was the P-51, which is the small ship attached to the Constellation. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool ship.
Yes.
I really want that ship. But it comes attached to a larger ship, and there was no way to separate the two. So I kind of had to justify to myself that I should cough up, was it $275? I said, well, I have no choice, and I have to spend $275 and actually get the larger ship to get the smaller ship I actually wanted. And that hooked me into the veteran backer. I guess it was July of 2013. Holy crap, 2013 already? Time's
Yeah.
flying.
Damn.
Yeah, I think I backed at a similar time. It was the end of the veteran backer versus other. It was not going to be veteran backer anymore.
Yeah, it was just a normal peasant backer from that point onwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like me, because I think I could have gotten in as a veteran backer, but we were a group of people that Joe and I belonged to. We were doing drives to get certain people to concierge status. So they would buy the ship and then gift it to other people, but that doesn't really count for the other person to be a backer.
Right, you have to
So
actually put the
I
money in
only
yourself.
became a back. Yes, I only became a backer when I bought some fish from my hangar.
Yeah.
And pause for dramatic effect. Wait, do I get to do the whoosh thing? Whoosh. I know that's...
Wait till the end.
Hyper-
Wait till the end, and then
Wait until the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I took it
what-
away from you.
what is Test Squadron, and what do you do?
What is
Both
Test
you
Squadron?
and
well,
the org.
I really had no idea it'll go where it's actually at right now. I just wanted to get a small group of people together and play the game. I used to play EVE many years ago. I was in EVE for about a year and a half. EVE is unforgiving. It's a really rough game, and it was sucking the life and time out of me. I'd wake up at 3 in the morning to change my skills. Well, in EVE, you basically have to you get these skill books, and you have to keep on building your skills up. And when the queue ends, you have to put in another one. It's different now, but at the time, that's how it worked. And I'd wake up at 3 in the morning to make sure that I was getting my max amount of skills in for the day. It was just ridiculous. But you know what? EVE has a lot of good parts to it. I made a lot of good friends while I was in there, but it's been a couple of years since I last played. And when Star Citizen came out, I was wondering if anyone from the old EVE group would like to come play Star Citizen. And I asked around, and I really got no good responses. EVE players are too busy playing EVE to be concerned about another space sim. And so I said, you know what, I'll go and try start my own test group. And I went around and asked, and a couple of people were interested, and it just got the ball rolling. At the moment, this is a question we often get, are you the same group from EVE? And the answer is no, we are not. While I may have played EVE in the past, and a couple of other core members of my group too, majority of us in Test Squadron right now have never played EVE before. I would go as far as saying that about 98% to maybe even 99% of everyone within Test Squadron has never even played EVE. So we're two different groups, but I'm kind of bringing over the camaraderie and the fun aspect from the EVE group. I want to get all the best pieces of that and bring it to Star Citizen. And basically it's a blank slate, we're starting from fresh. And that's how Test Squadron came about. How we grew in the more recent months, well, years I guess. It's already been since 2013. Our first big success was the Flappy Bird clone called Flappy Aurora.
Crash.
Or Aurora Crash.
That's Aurora,
Yeah.
I remember that one, yes.
And that was kind of just 4 or 5 guys. I don't want to say the names because I may forget someone and offend someone, and I don't want to offend anyone. They basically sat down one evening and they got the whole thing done, and they finished like at 4 in the morning, whatever, and we put it out. And at the time, Wingman's Hangar was the big show, and he picked up on it and he put it into Wingman's Hangar. And we picked up, I think, 20 or 30 new members from that. At the time, we were only about 180 people in the entire organization. That was a huge membership gain, and we were so excited. And we kind of expanded upon that, just creating fun content and projecting a whole air of fun within the group that generally attracted a lot more people. That's what Test has been about so far. We have no rigid structure or rigid guidelines. We're kind of putty right now, and we'll mold ourselves into whatever we become as the game dictates.
So you'll do whatever you want to do.
Can I do shh now?
Not yet. Not yet. Just
Tell me
wait.
when.
Not yet, not yet.
We'll tell you when.
At the end. So, moving on to from your organization to the actual game, what aspect of the game are you looking forward to the most?
I think my answer is
Of Star
pretty much
Citizen,
one of
that is.
the basic
The Citizen
answers. I'm
universe
very
or-
much into
or
the
the,
exploration part. I'm curious to see what the exploration mechanics are, finding new territories no one else has seen, But with that comes, of course, the combat part, because you come across other people who may be there before you and you have to blow them up. So initially, exploration and trade, but as we learn more about the game mechanics, it's sounding more and more like freelancing, possibly transportation of goods and so forth. And I'm also kind of curious about the whole 890 jump purpose, where you have to transport people of high rank or something. I'm not really sure, but for myself personally, it's exploration and trading.
And stuff.
And blowing things up. Oh! Also, crashing into large immovable objects with the largest ships we can find.
Like a sun with the Bengal carrier.
Well, yes, we actually made that got into our organization page poster, is that we're going to crash a Bengal carrier into the sun. Whether the game mechanics allow it or not, we will try.
Is there anything that you'd like to see added into the game that's not in there yet?
I don't want to make the mistake that a lot of people on the forums are making right now, and they're taking all their wildest dreams and all their biggest hopes and saying this all has to come squeezed into this game right now because I want to have slaves, and if this game doesn't have slaves that I can control, then it's the worst game in the world. Well, I don't understand. You know, I'm coming in, again, blank slate. Whatever the game gives us is what we'll have. Personally, everything I want in the game is already in there. I know a lot of people are totally into the immersion and going, if the planet doesn't orbit and doesn't have its own climate that dynamically changes, it ruins it for me. I'm coming in blank, so whatever the game makes is perfectly fine. If you expect the least, you will never be disappointed. And that should be the attitude that backers take.
Yep, exactly.
And you guys, what are you guys looking forward to in the game?
Exploring the unknown, basically. Not the fighting part, as you mentioned, where you get to another system and somebody else is already in there, you try to take it over from them, but just going out there into the unknown, basically, like, you know, the original Star Trek thing, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
So you're saying you're looking for green alien woman?
Yes.
A noble cause.
Exactly.
Yes, I back you on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of it, really. I want to do everything. I want to have some... I mean, I can see from a lot of stuff that's been announced with the FPS module that it's going to be a full-on FPS game. I really enjoy FPS games. I'm going to love that. I'm looking forward to everything in the game, and there's nothing that I want that would be added.
I'm very curious about the FPS, because CryEngine obviously is very good at that part of the game. And I know one of the, who was it, Redacted? I don't know why they call themselves Redacted. We all know it's Ilphonic, right? Is that the name?
I think so, yes.
I can't remember the name, but I know it's not.
We can't
They
confirm anything officially. They will be unveiled at PAX East in a few days.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm going to see that. Looking forward to see what they do. But yeah, the FPS side of it does intrigue me. Although I'm very interested in the capital ship battles, the big battles. I know a lot of people want to be the captain on a large ship, which I suspect is not going to be as fun as a lot of people think it will be, because as soon as you get into a big battle, everyone's going to jump into the small fighters and go out there and fight it. And the captain's going to be sitting in a big empty ship going, guys, hello? And everyone will be off the ship already. Having fun.
Right, so... Provided you were the captain of your own Idris frigate and virtually invincible, or let's just say Bengal carrier, if we're, getting it up to that level, what drink would you be simping on as you watched your enemies burn in the night sky?
Ooh. What alcoholic beverage?
Doesn't have to be alcoholic.
Could be water.
Could be tea.
Non-alcoholic would have to be a McDonald's chocolate shake.
Oh.
So I just feel that goes very well with relaxing and looking out into the stars. But otherwise, well, I'm more of a spirits guy. I like things very simple. I would have to go vodka on the rocks. I know that's probably a little boring, but vodka on the rocks with an umbrella in it.
With it,
just to make it a bit more interesting.
Just so you can put it up when the explosion's too bright. You can just hold it in front of your eyes.
I think all fancy drinks have to have an umbrella.
I wish I had a little umbrella here. I do have a little one. It's not really little. I'm going off camera now, but I have an umbrella.
Oh, you're prepared.
Yes!
Well, I'll be damned. He had one. Do you actually wear that? You have to
I have
excuse me
one,
from
and there's
looking to the
photos of me
side
wearing
because
it.
my screen is over there, actually. But I'm just switching to a larger cup, too.
How important do you consider the addition of lavatories to in-game spaceships? And take this off. Because
I have mixed feelings about that. I'm trying to think back to a role-playing game which I played, I enjoyed. Skyrim I really liked. But there were no toilets in the houses for the most part, which never really bothered me. But I remember reading a lot in the forums about the hardcore role players who complained that there were a lack of lavatories in some of the houses you own. So while it's not of real importance to me, I can respect that some individuals do like the immersion of being able to poop in space.
I suppose, yeah. Well, you do have to realize that, for instance, in Star Trek, there is no pooping in space. There are no lavatories. However, for instance, in Firefly, there is at least peeing in space, as we know.
Well, in Star Trek, they have the technology to beam things, so you basically would never have to have a bowel movement. You simply beam the waste into space directly out of your bowels, which is how I explain that.
It's a lot less messy.
It's the most efficient way of venting.
Oh, they get the wrong part. There goes the.
You just make sure you beam into space, not the guy next door's room.
Practical joking, Star Trek style. Beam poop into your next door neighbor's room.
Well, this is a serious show, and for some people, this is a very serious topic. I did like that when the Constellation first came out, they had a huge washroom, which is very roomy, but a big waste of space. I actually like the current setup much better, where it's smaller, but for that little bit of little things of realism make the difference. So little space toilets in your ships, definitely, I think it helps the immersion for those serious role players. And those role players are the guys who are going to be most hardcore in this game, so we're going to make sure they're happy with their toilets.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, we're just about out of time. Thank you so much, Montoya, for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Can I do the whoosh thing now?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes. Of course.
You've been watching.
Look straight
Fortnite.
into the camera and do the whoosh.
Sorry.
Fortnightly Frontier.
Fortnightly Frontier. You have been watching Fortnightly Frontier, and now I'm going to do this thing. Whoosh.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Fortnightly Frontier.
Yay! Starting off with a blooper.
Hello and... Hang on, let me just start that again.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to the first episode...
The first? What the fuck? Yes! We only started. We don't know what we're doing. It's not like we recorded 19 episodes so far. Come on, get your shit together.
He's green. He's reading the script wrong. He's reading the script wrong. He thinks he's blue, but he's actually green.
Oh, for crying out! First up, we have the hyper news.
It must be so much harder to edit this shit when we get drunk because we just can't get it. It's
you
like
have
completely
no
broken.
idea. And here's what's coming up in the next episode of
And on to the major points.
No, I did it with left hand, sorry.
You fucking would. Okay.